In this forecast video, we're tracking the tropics as the Atlantic is churning with activity and also taking a quick look at newly formed Tropical Storm Danielle. Alrighty, welcome back into another more weather forecast video. Let's get right into things here, looking at newly formed Tropical Storm Danielle. This is our fourth named tropical system of the Atlantic hurricane season. Again, we've had a very calm season with August having no named tropical systems, which is pretty historically significant. But as we go into the upcoming days, this is expected to become our first hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season here. So again, this is a pretty significant storm, as it will become is likely to become our first hurricane here of the Atlantic hurricane season. So let's go over to the tropics. We were just talking about up here, Tropical Danielle. It is way up here in the northern Atlantic, definitely not going to affect the United States here, and is likely not even going to affect any land, just going to be hanging out there in the northern Atlantic. But in today's video, we're going to be mostly focusing on this Invest 91L here, going into the Caribbean, and also this area to watch off of the coast of Africa. So let's get right into things here. As you can see, we do have this area to watch, this yellow area. It is only a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 5 days, but it is signaling that we are going to keep having an uptick in tropical activity as tropical waves keep on coming off of Africa, and eventually one of these things may hit the United States. So if you're over here in the United States, you got to get prepared for this, because we are expecting an uptick in tropical activity. And what does that mean? Maybe tropical storms or hurricanes that could affect the United States. But now we're going to mainly focus, this is the main focus of this video, is this Invest 91L here in the Atlantic, and it will go into the Caribbean, but eventually, thankfully, go and turn off towards where Tropical Storm Danielle is right now. Again, it won't be there by the time Invest 91L gets up there, and it will likely become our next tropical storm after Danielle, may even hit Bermuda. But let's get into what the models say about this. Again, we do have a 70% chances of cyclone formation in the next 5 days, but this isn't expected, at least that's what the models say, that this is not going to hit the United States, and I don't expect that, because the models have been trending outlook here for the past few days here, so I don't expect this to hit the United States. So as we go into Sunday, as this goes over Puerto Rico, and we're looking at the GFS model right now, as this goes over Puerto Rico, this is expected to really develop and get its act together, but once it gets north of Puerto Rico, it's getting flung out into the northern Atlantic. It's going to fling itself up here. At least that's what the GFS is saying for right now, and this is what it's been saying for model runs and model runs and model runs. So I do expect this some sort of this outcome to happen here. And as we go into Wednesday, this is expected to become our next tropical storm and maybe even our next hurricane here. But as you can see, it is not expected to affect the United States, and most of the models have been saying this, and they've been the model runs have been trending to make this go off and not hit the United States. So let's look at the European model. And as we go into Sunday, as you can see, this is much too close for comfort here, but I still do expect this to fling itself into the northern Atlantic some point along its track. Could it be right here? Yeah, I expect it to be somewhere in between these two areas. That's where it's going to fling itself into the northern Atlantic and go up there, mind its own business, and not mind the business of Americans living over here in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Now, could this just barely scratch the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Florida? Maybe, but that is not likely. I think this is going to fling itself off into the northern Atlantic and not affect the United States. So that about wraps up this video. Remember, Invest 91L not expected, thankfully, to affect the United States. Also, our first hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season is expected to develop in the upcoming days. Make sure you subscribe and go follow me on Twitter. I'll continue to update you guys on the tropics here. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.